So the New York Knicks are actually playing pretty good lately. Um, they are 5-5 today. Now they have lost their last two games. They lost badly against the Nuggets and the Thunder, mainly against the Nuggets. The Nuggets destroyed them. Honestly, the Knicks, in my opinion, they have peaked. And these two losses are going to turn into more losses, in my opinion. Just looking at how it's going, RJ Barrett, I don't think he was ever that good of a pick. Like, when he was selected by the Knicks, he was supposed to be the next big star, right? And he was supposed to be a star player. I don't think RJ Barrett is a star player. I don't think he's that good. His shooting is just not that good. It's not even average. It's just not that good. He's averaging 16.5 points per game, so like 17. Okay, he's averaging 17 points per game, but he's doing it on 37% field goal shooting and 20% three-point percentage. Like, that is not good, especially when you're averaging the most points in the most minutes in the league. He's averaging 38 minutes in the league with Julius Randle. Him and Julius Randle are averaging the most minutes in the league with 38, both of them, which is insane. Tom Thibodeau, he's running his players into the ground like he usually does with minutes. It's awful. He's making everyone play so many minutes that it's just crazy. Like, he has Reggie Bullock playing almost 29 minutes per game. Alec Burks almost 28 minutes per game. Like I said, RJ and Julius Randle playing 38 minutes. He's playing Elfrid Payne almost 30. Austin Rivers almost 27. Mitchell Robinson almost 30. I mean, it's just insane. But I hate to say it, man, but RJ Barrett, his stats are inflated. Like, super inflated. He's playing 38 minutes, and he's only averaging 16.5 points per game. Again, if you want to make it 17, that's fine, but he's also shooting 69% from the free throw line. Usually you can take into account when someone shoots a good percentage from the free throw line, that usually tells you they'll figure out their shot. RJ Barrett is still shooting 69% at the free throw line. I mean, this is a 10-game spread. Can he still get better throughout the season? Yes. But, man, I'm losing faith in RJ Barrett. I really am. He's averaging almost 8 rebounds per game, which is pretty good. Obviously, I mean, he's a good rebounder. He is. Everyone, I think that's one thing I could always say about him is he's a good rebounder. Not bad for playing shooting guard or forward. I think he's playing small forward most of these games. Because they got Alec Burks and Reggie Bullock playing a lot of minutes as a shooting guard. He's only averaging 3 assists per game. He's not a playmaker. He is averaging 1 steal, though, so that isn't too bad. He's only averaging 2 turnovers per game, which isn't bad for playing 38 minutes. Not as bad as Julius Randle. Julius Randle's averaging like almost 5 turnovers per game on his 38 minutes. Because they're still using like Julius Randle as like the main playmaker, which is insane. But I don't know, I could be wrong. So far as I know, I'm losing my faith very quickly in RJ Barrett, and I just don't think he's going to be that player that everyone thought he was going to be. I don't think he's going to be a star at this point. The way that his averages are going, his stats are going, it's just not a good look, man. These averages that he's averaging, if he was going to be a star player, he would be averaging maybe not way more, but like he should be averaging more. He should be averaging around what Julius Randle's getting. Julius Randle's averaging like 23 points per game on 38 minutes. He should be averaging at least 20 or more if he was going to be a star player. But no, Julius Randle's doing better than him. Julius Randle's stats are also inflated, honestly, but at least he's doing something. I mean, he's averaging 23 points per game, almost 12 rebounds per game, on 7 assists. Like I mentioned, he almost has 5 turnovers. He has 4.4 turnovers per game. But he is shooting 76% from the free throw line, 36% from three, 50% from the field. He is shooting really good this year, which is, that's why I wouldn't say his stats are too inflated, but they are inflated. But if he keeps averaging those numbers, like those percentages from shooting, he could no doubt still be a threat. But I am worried those percentages will dip and those stats will dip a little bit. I don't know. It would be really awesome if Julius Randle could keep this up. He's never, shot this well before. But it would be interesting to see him if he could average. If he could average the 36% from the 3-point line, that would be amazing for him. But I am interested to see if he can keep it up. I don't know if he can, but obviously we'll see. I mean, we still only have 10 games played for everybody, so I'm very interested to see what he can do continuing on. That's why I gotta mention before moving on to a couple more players here. I gotta admit, man, I don't feel like the stats and these percentages are gonna keep up. I feel like sooner or later these percentages are gonna dip. Like Austin Rivers, he's shooting 52% from the field, 48% from three. He's playing almost 27 minutes. Those percentages are gonna dip. Let's be honest. Austin Rivers is not that good of a shooter, like in that standard. He's not going to be shooting that for the rest of the season, but he is averaging about 12 points per game. So Austin Rivers is Austin Rivers. He's been doing really good lately coming off the bench. So he's been really good for the Knicks, no doubt. Mitchell Robinson has been maybe a little bit disappointing in a way. He's been averaging about 30 minutes per game. Like I said, Tom Thibodeau is running these players' minutes. He's running them into the ground like usual. And Mitchell Robinson, I think it's just because he's not being utilized really on the offense at all. I think he's just being put there on the offense at this point. He's averaging about 8 rebounds per game, 8 points per game, almost 9 points per game. I wish Mitchell Robinson would average double digits in points and rebounds, but I think that's just because he's not being utilized that much. And yeah, Julius Randle's grabbing most of the boards, and so is RJ Barrett. So, he's averaging almost more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. So, that pretty much tells you right there. Julius Randle on the defensive side, he's averaging 10 rebounds per game on the defensive side. So that pretty much tells you what's happening. The rebounding is amazing, but Mitchell Robinson, he's definitely showing on the defensive side, though. His defense is amazing. He's almost averaging 2 steals and 2 blocks per game, pretty much, on the defensive side. And he's only averaging 1 turnover per game and only 3 fouls per game. So he's doing really good when it comes to defense and stuff. Offense is still kind of like there. It's decent. It's okay. He's not even averaging assists. I just feel like he's not really getting utilized on the offense at all. But defense, he's amazing, which makes sense. Tom Thibodeau turned Joakim Noah into Defensive Player of the Year. Having Mitchell Robinson over like Joakim Noah just probably makes it so much better. Mitchell Robinson I would take Mitchell Robinson all day over Joakim Noah as my center if I was a coach. And just having someone like Mitchell Robinson is just probably breathtaking in a way. Knowing that you have a defensive presence like that. Let's talk about Obi Toppin real quick. I could totally make a separate video about this, but they're not playing him, really. He's only played 1 game. He played 24 minutes in that 1 game. Tom Thibodeau, you need to play him, man. He's a rookie. Tom Thibodeau doesn't play rookies. But, man, you need to play him, please. Get him some minutes. Play the rookies, man. Get them involved. Let them learn. Don't have them on the bench. He could play off the bench. He could put in some some good minutes, probably, just get him some playing time. See what he can do, Get him in there. He's a rookie, He needs to develop, man. He needs to play in the games. Get him in there. Even if it means getting him off the bench, let him play. Emmanuel quickly, he's getting more minutes. He's gotten more playing time, I should say, in the games. He's played 6 games. He's been doing pretty good with his shooting. He's been pretty serviceable. Elfrid Payton has been Elfrid Payton. I mean, 15 points. Well, 14.5 points per game. Playing almost 30 minutes, which is crazy. I mean, if you're playing Elfrid Payton 30 freaking minutes, I mean, what does that tell you? Kevin Knox has been playing like 21 minutes. He's been shooting. He has good shooting numbers. I wish he would have gotten more development playing time years ago when he was drafted, but at this point, I don't know if Kevin Knox is really going to be a player that most people thought he was going to be. The main guy also I want to talk about is Alec Burks. He's been averaging almost 21 points per game on almost 4 rebounds and 4 assists per game. He's shooting 66% from 3 and 53% from the field. If there's anyone that pretty much shows why the Knicks are doing good, it's Alec Burks, and he's also a good reason why, like, the Knicks will not stay how they have been playing. Alec Burks, let's just be honest, Alec Burks is not a 20-point per game guy, all right? And he's only played like 3 games, and those stats aren't going to last, man. I can't remember if he was injured now. I know Taj Gibson is injured, so he hasn't been able to play. There was another player that was injured, but I can't remember if it was him. It might have been him. But he was coming off the bench and putting up those numbers. I think Alec Burks is the other one that's injured. Don't quote me. Reggie Bullock has been the one that's been starting every game alongside with RJ Barrett. He's been okay. He's been Reggie Bullock, you know. He's been shooting not the best, but it's been there. Pretty much what's been happening is that a lot of the Knicks players just been coming off the bench and putting up serviceable points and stuff. And the Knicks, I mean, they've been playing good defense, but I think these shooting numbers won't last forever. Sooner or later, their percentages will dip. They've dipped definitely the past 2 games. Looking at the Knicks and Thunder games, they did not shoot good previous to those games when they went on like a 3-game winning streak or a 4-game winning streak. They did not shoot as good, and their numbers are going down. Sadly, I think the Knicks I think they peaked too early in the season, which made it exciting. A lot of Knicks fans haven't seen that in a while, you know, a lot of wins going, but I think they definitely peaked in the beginning, and I don't think the Knicks will be making the playoffs this year. I think they will start dipping very quickly. But yeah, as far as I know, I don't think the Knicks are going to be able to keep it up at this point. And I mean, if they are, though, I could be wrong. Who knows? RJ Barrett could step it up even more. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, especially as Tom Thibodeau keeps playing them so many minutes, the issue is just fatigue as well. Sooner or later, these players are going to keep getting tired more, and they're just not going to be able to put up the amount of energy into these games. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I just don't think the Knicks are going to be able to keep it up at this point.